celebrating the world's most popular sport. This is Ultimate Soccer. And now your host, here's Soccer Steve.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a great wind into the festive season, and to all those who love Christmas, I love it too. It's the time of the year and it's all about giving. I personally don't really like getting presents. I love getting cards. And people think I'm strange. And you've watched the videos, so you know I'm not normal. But honestly guys, I love getting cards. I really do. It comes from my childhood. But I love getting cards. Presents are good, but I love cards because they're personal. Now, getting down to the personal details on the English Premier League, I've chosen to go from top to bottom, 1st to 20th in the league, and tell you what I think about the teams in brief from 2021 moving into 2022. So predicting what is coming through. But I'm looking, and we're going to go from 1st to 20th. And I'll tell you, you might not agree, you might agree, but here we go, just you and me. First place, Man City. I've said right from the start, Man City is going to win the league. I'm not going to change my choice. Once I make a choice, I stick to it. So Man City for me is the team that's going to win the league in another 21 games. After 17 rounds, they're on top. The only team I feel that's going to threaten Manchester City really is Liverpool. And Liverpool's in second, a point behind right now. And remember, recently Chelsea were top, who are now third. I don't think Chelsea's going to be there. And the reason why I say that is although Chelsea has a lot of wonderful skill and talent, they are sort of brittle in certain areas. You know, they don't have the muscle that you need to win this title over 38 games. A couple of injuries, Chelsea would be in real trouble. Think about that for a second. That's Chelsea in third. Injuries might do them in. But for Man City, Liverpool, I see them finishing first and second, as is Man City winning the title. Chelsea's going to finish third. And you look to fourth spot, Arsenal, right now. Arsenal. Ask yourselves, seriously, do you really think Arsenal's going to finish fourth? And respect to Arteta, what he's done with that team. But do you really think Arsenal's good enough to keep fourth spot till the end of the season? Ask yourself that, because I don't think so. I think that at the end of the day, there's probably two teams that are going to challenge for fourth. One of those might well be Manchester United. The other may well be Tottenham. I'll tell you why as we move through. But as we're moving in right now, Arsenal is in fourth. Credit to Arteta, like I say. Credit to Arteta. They started the season 3 losses on the bounce. Last 15 games, they're 10-2-3. So credibility where it is due. Arteta and the Arsenal crew have done pretty well. I don't think they've got sustainability in that squad. And like Chelsea, but more so, injuries are going to hurt Arsenal more than Chelsea. Just by the way these guys play the game. They're open to injury. Arsenal, injuries. Arsenal, injuries. Watch it happen. West Ham in 5th. You know, David Moyes has done a bloody good job, but where they are right now is about as high as they can be. You know, Antonio was on fire at the start of the season and hasn't got more than 2 goals in the last 13, and I tell you what, that really does tell a story of destiny. If the forward line doesn't fire at West Ham, it doesn't matter what Declan Rice and the guys in defence do, or Fabianski in net. You've got to get goals. Now, West Ham has scored 28 on the season so far, but they've also shipped in 21. They need to bring in a class striker to go alongside Antonio. Then they might challenge for fourth. But right now, West Ham sitting in 5th. That's about as good as it's going to get. I don't see it getting any better. Now, Manchester United in 6th with Ralf Rangnick, the German, the great technician. United sit in 6th right now. They've got 2 games on Arsenal. They're 5 points behind Arsenal. So within 2 games, Arsenal might be sitting in 5th and United might be in 4th by a point. That's if United get 2 wins. Let's face it, since Ralph has come in, United's on a 3-game winning streak. So maybe the fortunes at United and Old Trafford are changing. But United sit in 6. In 7, Tottenham Hotspur only played 14 games right now. 25 points, 7 points behind the Arsenal, 7 points behind the Arsenal, 4 games behind the Arsenal, and only 7 points behind the Arsenal. If Tottenham get 2 wins, a draw and a loss, they'll be level with Arsenal and possibly better on goal difference and would take 4th. There's another club that can take Arsenal out of 4th spot and push them into 5th, like Man United. So Manchester United and Tottenham could be 2 clubs that push Arsenal out of the top 4. And let's not forget, this is the first time Arsenal have been in the top 4 since Arteta took over. Remember that, because it might not last. In 8th, Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is about as good as it's going to get for Wolves. I mean, look at the teams above them. And likewise, look for Leicester City in 9th. Wolves in 8th, Leicester in 9th. Looking at the teams above them, as good as Leicester and Wolves seem to be, both really decent clubs, that's about as good as it's going to be for them. I know for Wolves, Jimenez has come back, and that might add something as the season goes through. But with Leicester, let's face it, Vardy's knocking on in years 35, not getting every game. They're changing it up strikers. Iheanacho gets a few games here and there. But in the long haul, 8th or 9th is about as good as it gets for Wolves or Leicester. All they need to do is maybe pick up 1 or 2 great acquisitions on the forward line or in defence, or maybe playmaker style, but that's not where these 2 lack. Wolves and Leicester have got good playmakers, but maybe additions up front for these 2 clubs could push them into that 6th or 7th spot. But right now, Leicester, Aston Villa is chasing you. Aston Villa is chasing Wolves, but Wolves and Leicester, that's about as good as it gets. Now, is 10th spot where Aston Villa is right now, is that as good as it gets for Aston Villa? Ask yourself, really. Stevie Gerrard has come in, and all of a sudden, Villa have gone from relegation candidate to challenging now to 7th spot, because Villa's on 22 points. Win, loss, win, loss, win. In the last 5, 3 wins in the last 5. That's 9 points. Leicester's only got 7 in the last 5. Wolves has only got 5 in the last 5. So, yeah, Aston Villa is knocking on the door for Leicester and Wolves and looking in to get to 7th spot. It's a long ask, but they're challenging Leicester and Wolves for 8th and 9th. What should happen? Leicester, beware. Wolves, you're doing great. Keep it going. Crystal Palace in 11th. Patrick Vieira. You know, they did have 3 losses on the bounce recently. Then they got a win. Then they got a draw. Great game against Everton recently. And, hey, I tell you what, I'm happy with what I see with what Patrick Vieira is doing. And the Frenchman, really, you know, after 17 games, 4 wins, 8 losses, only 5 losses. So 4 wins, 8 draws, 5 losses. 24 goals for, 24 goals against. Sitting on 0 on goal difference after 17 games, 20 points in 11th. Roy Hodgson has come and gone. So is that older age squad. Palace is a younger version of itself today. Patrick Vieira is making them play a different way. 11th is as good as it gets for Palace. But it's a good day because with 21 games to go, they only need another 20 points. They're good for next year and survival. That's what it's all about, Crystal Palace, because they're not going to challenge for the title. But once in a while, they might for the FA Cup. And third time lucky, if history serves them right, they'll meet Man United in the FA Cup final, but this time they'll win. In 12th, Brentford. I'll tell you what, Ralph, the coach, is doing a fantastic job in Brentford. Only 16 games used. Loads of games to go. 20 points level with Crystal Palace. But 22 games to go to get 20 points. Newcomers Brentford, I'm telling you now, will not be relegated, will survive. And I'm saying 12th to 14 is where they finished. Correct me at the end of 38 games. Brentford, 12th to 14th, not getting relegated. Brighton in 13th. You know, Brighton's a great old team. Surviving. 20 points after 16 rounds, just like Brentford. You know, give me 20 points in the next 22 games, just like Brentford, and they're going to survive as well. They're not going to line it up. They've only won 4. They've drawn 8, but they've only lost 4. Here's the critical point, though, with Brighton. They've only scored 14 goals in 16 rounds. But on the plus side, they've only conceded 17 goals in 16 games. -3 goal difference. They will be there next year, and all the Brighton fans on the south coast of England get ready for another year of soccer. And hopefully with a few more wins. But you're doing good. You're doing great. And your local rivals, Palace, are on level points. Everything to play for, and you got a game in hand on them. In 14, Everton, it started so good with Rafa Benitez taking the post and all the Everton fans and all the hate mail because he's an ex-Liverpool coach. But you know what? It's got so bad, so fast. And it started out so good. Right now, 5 wins, 4 draws, 8 losses on the season. And they've only scored 21. And they've conceded 29. I don't see Everton being relegated, but it is a somewhat miserable season. But for Toffees fans, wait for the second half. Things could get much better. Southampton, you know what? You are where you are because who you are and what you are. 17 games, 3 wins, 8 draws, 6 losses. You're hard to knock down, but you really don't have much clout. 16 goals scored in 17 games, and you conceded 10 more. That tells you everything. You're gutless and toothless up front, and you're shipping the goals at the worst of times. 6 points clear of danger zone, 17 points, Southampton. But I tell you, it's going to be a long, long season. Throw some wins in there, and Ward-Prowse maybe get some of them free kicks to win games for Southampton, and Southampton will run away from problems. I don't see Southampton getting relegated, but they are amongst the teams in the bottom 6 right now that I think have to worry about it. In 16th, Leeds United. Bielsa, it's all going wrong for you, sir. You get all the plaudits and everybody says, wow, what a fantastic coach. And you even have coaches, great coaches, come to your seminars. Now, I'm looking at that and saying, well, if those great coaches are coming to your seminars, what is your team doing and why are you so bad? And people, let's be honest, he's a great coach. But Leeds United are absolutely crippled with injuries right now. You wouldn't believe it. They've only got 8 first teamers from the squad to play games in the Premier League. They're literally calling up kids to help them out. So as soon as the injuries get better, don't look for Leeds to win the title, obviously. I'm joking. But as soon as the injuries start to come around and they get their players back, look for Leeds to mount a charge and hopefully finish somewhere between 11th and 14th. Right now, Leeds are in 16th. That doesn't sound like much, but at the end of the season, there'll be a lot of points more. Right now, Leeds on 16 points, 18 games in, 5 points above danger. But the second half of the season looks much better. In 17th and literally bobbing in and out of thoughts of relegation is Ranieri's Watford. 16 games in, 13 points. 16 games means they've got game in hand on those above, or games in hand on those above, depending on which club. Now, with 13 points and 2 games in hand on some of those guys, they could get to 19 and equal people like Everton or maybe Southampton. But points that you have now are worth games to play when you're in danger of being relegated or jumping into the relegation zone. So Watford right now, 16 games in, 13 points, 2 points above the drop zone. 18th place, Burnley in the drop zone on 11 points on 15 games. As games get postponed, they mount up. But the one thing you got to remember about those postponed games is that they come at you faster than the schedule had designed prior to. So, yeah, Burnley has a game, 2 games, 3 games on some clubs to play. But you're starting to win games. That's what makes the difference. 1 win in 15 for Burnley. 3 games, 2 games, a game in hand on most clubs. They've got to start winning games. Those games in hand are going to come faster. It's going to cause burnout. And Burnley haven't literally lit it up. But the burnout of fast games back-to-back might push them further into relegation zone and further away from the likes of Watford that right now are just 2 points ahead of them. but it could get worse. Watford and Burnley do have a meet coming up soon. Watch out for that, because it will be critical for the team that loses. Right as we stand right now, Watford has won 4 games, Burnley only 1. You think about who would win that game head-to-head, Watford-Burnley. In 19th, with all the money in the world, all the money you could think of, Newcastle United 17 points in, and in the last 15 points of 5 games, they've taken 4, which is not bad, considering teams above them have only taken 3 like Watford. So if things continue, and if Newcastle can add some quality in January, and that's not so far away, then give Newcastle an outside edge of recovery and maybe avoiding relegation. The players that they bring in would be on massive wages, would be massive talent, and could make the difference. It's going to be interesting for Newcastle because I say money could bring talent, and it's talent that's going to make Newcastle better. What do Newcastle need? They need 3 players. An absolute world-class striker, a top world-class midfielder, and a top world-class centre-half. If they could get that kind of action going on, they literally could survive. Let's watch it happen. I think it could happen. And that's what Newcastle need to do. And in last place in 20th is Norwich City under Dean Smith, who recently got the firing squad from Aston Villa, who see now Stevie Gerrard making that club a much better team. Well, Dean Smith, Norwich City, I don't think you're going to save him. I'm going to say now, I predict it. He doesn't save Norwich. I can't see it happening. They're going to make a fist of it. But quality, quality, quality. Toothless up front. Pukki can't do it every week. When you see the injuries they get so easy in the defensive, like Morley and the rest of them, I just don't see him getting it. Aaron's on the wing at the back there. He's not doing like he could do. And I know why Bayern Munich wants him, but I tell you what, at Norwich City, there's too much defensive work for him to do for him to get forward like he could. So, Norwich going down. Dean Smith, it's not going to save it. That's what I'm saying, guys, right from top to bottom, for the Premier League. If you like what I say, drop me an email down below. If you think I'm talking BS, drop me an email down below. Text it. You know where to text it. Steve@theultimatesoccershow.com if you want to email it. One more time, Steve@theultimatesoccershow.com if you want to email it. If you want to just drop it here down below at the YouTube channel, please be my guest. And do not forget, subscribe, like, and hit that bloody bell. Literally, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bloody bell, and share this to all your Canadian friends and all football friends around the world. Excuse me. And big ups to everybody out there. Okay, guys, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And watch for the videos coming down on the YouTube channel as we move towards New Year's, because there's going to be a couple coming down, and I know you're going to like them. And there's going to be the likes of Tom Green, David Beckham, Canada shirt that I ordered. I'm going to bring you the update on that one, and you're going to love it. And then Hamilton, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit of Hamilton on January the 30th. That's another big thing coming down, so get ready for it. Lots coming down. But as for now, that's the EPL. That's what I'm thinking. And love to you all, guys. And keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and hit that bloody bell. Thanks, guys.
This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.